say something like 2,300. All right, and I think that's really all the information that you really need. The investors, when they try to sell it as a wrap, here's their numbers. It's worth about 300. Okay, yep, it's worth 300. Let's sell it for 450. Yeah. All right, cool. We sell it for 450, and let's ask for 20% down. Yeah, hell yeah, we can get 20% down.
I like that.
And then we're gonna also charge 9% interest.
Nice.
Why? So we can make more cash flow. Okay. The challenging part about that is, let's run the numbers on this real quick. Let's just see, because this is what most investors do. They'll take a property that's worth 300 and they'll try to sell it for $150,000 more than what it's worth. So if we take $450,000, let me go to my calculator real quick. And this is real life. Like, this is a real life scenario. So I'm gonna take $450,000, and what I'm trying to figure out is, what is my monthly payment for my wrap buyers. So I'm taking $450, 30-year term, 9% interest. My principal and interest payments is $3,620. Now my rents in the area is $2,300, but my principal and interest is $3,620. Let me write that down really quick. So our P&I is $3,620. That's not including taxes and insurance. Taxes and insurance could be another, let's call it maybe $450 per month. So that means you have a total of that is like $4,070. But the rents are going for $2,300. You cannot charge someone $4,000 or $2,000 more than what the average rents are if you're going to wrap a property. If you're trying to get the property so quick, good luck trying to sell this deal. So what we do, we make it a little bit easier. Where's that eraser at? Oh, don't worry about it. So we make it a little bit easier, and we like to move properties fast, like extremely fast. So instead of us trying to get all of this money, we understand, yeah, we have to make money. I get it. But you also want to be reasonable with these buyers. They obviously want to own a house, but something happened with their credit. So I'm going to take what I usually do is, or what we usually do, is we'll look at Zillow. If the Zestimate says it's worth about $300, more than likely it's worth $300,000. Whatever. So how much a property is worth depends on what the buyer's willing to pay for it. To be completely honest, like, no matter what the comps say, I found that out. So we go to Zillow. Zillow says $300,000. Redfin says $300,000. Realtor.com says $300,000. Okay, it's worth $300,000. What we typically do is we'll take this $300,000 and we'll add 10% on top of this $300,000. That is the highest that we'll go. That's the highest we'll go. It's 10%. So what does that mean? I'm going to take $300,000, $300K, and I'm going to add 10%. 10% of $300,000 is $30,000. So let's add $30,000. We get $330,000. That will be what I'm going to sell my property for. That's going to be my sales price. You can go up to 20% above what the property is worth, but we typically see properties moving fast at about 10%. No credit check. Who cares about their bank statements and all of that? We don't really care about that. We care about the down payment and their ability to be able to afford the monthly payment. That's all we care about. So we get $300,000. We add the 10%. We're at $330,000 sales price. Now, how much can we charge as a down payment? What we typically do is we charge 10% as down payment of the total sales price. So if we're selling it for $330,000, we're going to charge 10% down, which is $33,000. So now, $33K. We take this $330,000 minus the $33K, that gives us $300,000. All right, so that's what we are financing to our buyers. Now we can figure out from here what is going to be our monthly payment and what interest rate are we going to charge our wrap buyers. Depending on the sellers PITI, and we can make an example of a PITI real quick. Let's say their PITI is about, let's just call it like $1,500. That's what we've been seeing lately. Their payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment is around $1,500 a month. Let's just pretend, or $1,200. I've seen houses. No, I think 15 is pretty decent. Okay, so how can we figure out what's going to be our monthly payment on a $300,000 house? Well, we know the rents are going for $2,300. What we typically have been seeing is that people are willing to pay up to about $600 more than what the average rents are going for. That's all in. We start at about $300. So if the rents are $2,300, we'll bump it up to about $2,600. That's their all-in price because these people are actually owning the property. So sometimes we'll go from $2,300 up to like $2,600, but the max that we'll charge is about $2,900. So, and I'll show you why. For one, if you're owning a property, you actually own this property. You're only bringing $33,000 down, and you're paying a bit more than what the average rents are going for, but you're actually owning the property without having to check your credentials, or you don't have to worry about like the banks denying you for whatever reason. Like, we don't care about that. We're the ones that's ultimately approving you for this property. So are people willing to pay a little bit more than what the rents are going for? Yeah, they are. Just depending on how much more you're charging them. Now, let's find out how much is let's just plug in some numbers real quick. Let's see what is 9%. If we charge 9% interest on a $300,000 loan, what would that monthly payment come out to be? Is it going to be more than $2,900? Is it going to be at $2,900, or is it going to be less than $2,900? Let's just see. So I'm going to come in here with my calculator, and I'm going to type in 300 grand. So 300,000. We're going to start it at 9% because that's the most that we can charge. So we're at $2,413 for principal and interest. $2,413. So $2,413. That's just the principal and interest payment. And then somebody throw out like a taxes and insurance payment, just a random
400.
$400. Okay, perfect. So we got $400 for taxes and insurance. $2,413 plus 400, that's about $2,813. $2,813. Okay, now the question is, Graham, if the average rents are going for $2,300 a month, and I sell you this house for $330,000 with 33 down, and I'm telling you to pay me $2,800 a month, will you pay this monthly payment on this home?
Am I buying it for myself, or am I trying to rent it?
You're buying it for yourself. It's a homestead. It's something that you're going to live in.
I mean, yeah, I would if I was living in it.
Okay.
And I'm not having to check my credit or run anything like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more than likely we're going to have a wrap buyer pay $2,800. Keep in mind, $2,900 is probably the max that he would go. Maybe Graham say, hey, I'll give you the $33,000 down as long as you can come down to about $2,500 a month. I'm cool with doing the $33,000 down. I might take that deal. So let's see. Let me see what does that number look like. And I'll show you where I'm going with this. So he wants to pay $2,500 a month. All right, so let's do this. Let me do this. So $2,500 minus my taxes and insurance, which is $400. So that means he's gonna be paying me $2,100 a month. So let's do this, $2,100. That means his interest rate that he's paying is 7.5% interest. So instead of me paying 9%, why don't I give you 7.5%? Because that's affordable for me. I'm willing to do that. Now we got to figure out what's the cash flow on this thing. If he's paying me $2,100, if that's going all to me, $2,100 a month minus my PITI, which is $1,500. Okay. Ben knows the answer. Ben, what's $2,100 minus $1,500?
600.
$600. We got $600 in cash flow right there, just from negotiating with Graham. He said, I want to pay 25 versus the 28 that I originally was going to pay you. Okay, that bumped me down from what was that, like maybe $800 a month to now $600 a month. All right, cool. That's a deal. That is a deal. Now, as an investor, you want to make sure that you are being reasonable with your buyers. You don't want to you just don't want to. You don't want to overly price your properties, because then the property's going to sit for a very, very long time. If you want to get shit moved quick, you got to be reasonable with your buyers. My rents, they're going for $2,300. I'm charging my buyers somewhere around $2,900 max. Cool. They're not going to beat you up over this. They may say, hey, why are you charging me $2,800 and I see the rents are going for $2,300? Well, did you have to go to a bank to get approved? No. Did I check any of your credentials? No. Do I care about that shit? No. So that's why I'm giving you $2,800 a month. Like, I gotta make sure that you have a little bit of skin in the game as well. I can't just let you get away with everything. Then I'm not operating a business. So, is this guy going to get this property sold, or is it going to sit? More than likely, this property is going to get sold. So instead of us charging $450,000 or $400,000 or whatever, I'm going to charge 10% more than what the actual ARV is. And again, you can go up to 20%. You can go up to 20%. They're willing to pay that, but my price of my property does determine my monthly payment on my property. And I want to make sure that it's pretty close to the rent rates, because I want to get my property sold. Now, some investors, they can get greedy, and it's understandable. I get it. But if we want to get these houses moved quick, we got to price these numbers right. And this is how we get it done.